Peace and blessings, everybody. Okay, I got a video for you this morning. I'm up fairly early again. I tend to rise with the sun these days, and got this little ritual I do where I get out, and this is like my cup of coffee in the morning. As I just come out here and I get naked and sit in the sun, and usually make a video. I might as well be productive. So I got a topic for this one. This is going to be about depression. All right, I think the title of this video is going to be Semen Retention as a Cure for Depression. And I'm using the word cure here deliberately, right? Because there is a big difference between curing something and treating something, right? So in Western medicine, they can treat cancer. They can treat depression. They tend to treat symptoms of underlying conditions without getting to the root cause of it. Without getting to the root cause of something, you can't heal it or cure it. If you cure something, that means it's gone. It's been eliminated. It's over, right? So it's a strong word to use. It's a bold statement to say that semen retention could potentially be the cure to your depression if you're a depressed man or a man that suffers from depression. So a little bit about my experience. Speaking of depression cures, why do you think I'm in the sun so much? That's part of it. It's not all of it. That's part of it. It's a huge deal. Vitamin D, serotonin, circadian rhythm. Benefits of the sun are seemingly endless. And speaking of Western medicine, again, it's one of those things where a lot of doctors are very misguided on the subject. And there's a lot of reasons that that's the case. That could be a whole other video's subject. But there's people that do a lot better job exposing how all of this stuff kind of happened, if you know what I'm saying, without getting into that whole realm of things too much. I want to talk about solutions rather than problems. So the problem being depression. So we want to talk about semen retention as a solution for that and why that could potentially be the cure. Okay? For me, personally, I've dealt with depression and various mental health conditions my whole life. And I've been seeing doctors, countless doctors, okay? So I just recently did have knee surgery. So first of all, I want to give credit where credit is due. I'm about to basically say a lot of negative things about Western medicine and doctors and what they're actually able to do compared to what they claim to be able to do or think they can do. But also I want to give credit where credit is due because the surgery that I got on my knee was very important. It was actually something that turned out to be necessary. And I'm very thankful for the surgeons I had. Did a really good job. And I'm going to my physical therapist today who's amazing. And I'm really grateful for him and his knowledge, his expertise. And so, just because somebody is a medical professional does not mean that they're not somebody who can really help you heal. But generally speaking, at least in my experience and the experience of most people that I've ever talked to about this, that's not the case, okay? So the thing is, even just with the sun, right? A lot of doctors will tell me not to do what I'm doing. Even though when I do go see a doctor and they check me out and they, do blood work, look at my skin, compare my health to my age, I'm a picture of health. I am like in the 99th percentile, probably health-wise for somebody my age. Okay, so when they say, you shouldn't spend this much time in the sun, or you should put sunscreen on, or whatever, I don't acknowledge that because I know that they're just misguided. Okay. I don't know if there's doctors out there that are going to recommend semen retention to you. So the thing is, my point, doctors can help a lot when it comes to like mechanical issues in the body, orthopedics, things like that, surgeries. There are times where that's necessary. And thank God that we have those abilities, in modern society. But outside of that, if the problem is depression, for example, or social anxiety, or bipolar, something like that, doctors don't have the answer. They can treat the symptoms, but they cannot help the problem. They can't, okay? And the problem is probably everything to do with the way that you're living your life, the way that you're talking to yourself, and the company that you're keeping, decisions you're making. All these little decisions add up. Belief systems, things like that. So to cure depression, we have to reprogram the mind, because a person that's been depressed long enough basically becomes addicted to that. The depression is like a chemical situation in the brain, and it becomes so familiar that we actually kind of get addicted to it. And we start to believe a lot of the things that our head says. And we think that on some level we deserve to feel this way. And then we may notice along the way that certain types of people, codependent types of people, might treat us better because they notice that we're sad, right? And then we get in this self-pity thing. And that actually becomes some sort of asset to us that we exploit. And a lot of times it's women, right? It's women that are the nurturers that might know, oh, you're sad, and I would attract these very codependent females because they would see that I was like a sad boy, right? And always a toxic relationship, always, because they can't fix me. The part of me was like, yeah, come fix me. I'm so sad. It never works like that. And even when I had, 10 out of 10 beautiful girlfriend that just loved me and wanted to take care of me and fix me and would give me anything I want, ultimately I was empty. I was like an empty vessel. None of these temporary distractions or pleasures in life are solutions to the underlying issues we have. So for me, a huge underlying issue was this depression, this self-doubt, right? This mania too, because I've been somebody that's like manic. And the thing is, a lot of us, you guys that are awake, chosen ones, let's say, to use that word, those of us that see, those of us that notice what's going on in the sky, if you know what I'm saying, those of us that have gotten to the point where we're no longer able to be gaslit, and we no longer gaslight ourselves, because we've met other people on this path that see exactly what we see, so we know we're not tripping, we're not imagining things. I don't want to get into detail because I want to preserve this channel, but I think you know what I'm talking about. If I'm talking to people that are interested in semen retention, I'm talking to spiritually advanced people who are probably able to see what's going on in the world, okay? Which includes the fact that we are, there's warfare happening on every possible level: biological, chemical, spiritual, physical, psychological. It's all happening. Okay? Who's the target? Again, something I don't really have to get into because I think I know who I'm talking to here. If you resonate with me, you will already know. So let me just get into how semen retention has, as far as I can tell, cured depression for me. Depression no longer exists for me, you guys. Now that doesn't mean I'm not gonna feel sad sometimes. Doesn't mean I don't feel emotions. But you know what's different now? I'm in control. Your boy is in control. Those emotions do not control me anymore. I don't let them. Now we're gonna get tested. For me, depression's out the window. That's gone. Right now, it's more like rage. Rage is the one that I'm working on right now. Because certain things, certain people, certain events will inspire me towards this feeling of rage. And then I have to be in control of that. I have to recognize that, okay, that's an emotional state. But that emotional state cannot dictate my activities and my choices, or else I got it backwards. I'm in bondage. You see, if your emotions are guiding you around, you're in bondage, especially as a man. That's not how it's supposed to be. A man has emotions, he feels things, but he does not allow those things to dictate how he acts. It's a huge difference. All right, now, I used to be somebody that was driven by their emotions. So since SR, since I got real serious, I've been on this path for several months now, and I'm not slowing my roll one bit. I'm not stopping. Nothing is going to stop me, because I've really stumbled onto something, or I should say I've been given something. God gave me this. God put this in my life as a way to help save me from myself, you see? Because the cultivation of this energy and the practice of abstaining, of being obedient, right? That puts us back in the driver's seat of our lives, of our mind. It puts us back in control. So then as men, we're not driven by our emotions anymore. That's really what depression was for me. That's really what bipolar was for me. All of this stuff was, I feel a certain way, so I'm going to act a certain way. Nowadays, I'm purpose-driven. I have goals, I have ambitions, I have a value system, I have the scripture, right? I have my faith in the Most High God and Jesus, right? That's kind of like a foundation. That's like a compass in my life that gives me a direction. And I stay moving in that direction. I recognize God gifted me in certain ways. He gave me certain passions and certain abilities. And so it's up to me to utilize those to contribute something positive to this world. Now, one of the best things you can contribute to the world, no matter who you are, is your authenticity, your truth, your experience. Now, when you go on SR, your charisma, your personality, your true self starts to come back. Because when you were doing the old stuff, you were basically flushing your personality and your charisma and your magnetism out the drain. You were flushing that shit. Okay, and the other thing is, it's one thing when you're with another human being and you're engaging in these activities. If you're not spiritually on point, you're probably harming that person. They're probably harming you, and it's probably toxic, but not necessarily. So it's like, if you're a man and you're gonna bust nuts, at the very least, do it in the context of a committed, loving relationship with somebody who you respect and respects you back. Otherwise, what are you doing? If you're looking at a screen and you're having a sexual encounter with yourself, what are you really doing? Right? The person you're looking at, it's not even a person, man. You're looking at pixels. First of all, you're looking at pixels. You're looking at a screen. And you're developing a relationship. You're developing an intimate sexual relationship with pixels on a screen that represent a person on the other end that probably gives no fucks about you and never will. Why would you want to cultivate a relationship like that with pixels on a screen with some trash person on the other end? Why? As men, we have to stop. We have to stop doing that if we want to be in control of our emotions. It starts there. Because you lose that spiritual power. That's the power to create a life. Think about that. Use that power to create your life. See, that's part of why so many people are depressed. They don't make their bed in the morning. They don't clean their room. They don't take care of themselves. They don't fold their clothes. Little stuff like that. And they're looking at this crap on the screen. That's such self-disrespect. And you are wasting your life force. You're wasting your creative life force that you could use to either create a human being if you're doing it with a woman, or you could create your life. You could create a life that you like to live, and then watch what happens to your depression. And then guess what's going to happen? The longer you go on this path, of course, naturally, you're going to transform and you're going to evolve and you're going to start glowing. And there's certain people that are going to have to leave because they can't hang and they're going to think it's weird. Fine, so be it. Fantastic. Celebrate that, actually, because those people leaving your life is making room for new people to enter your life. And the people that enter your life are the ones that are going to resonate with you on a level that you've never experienced before. When I meet fellow retainers or even sisters who are devoted to God, man, the way we see things, it's unbelievable. I get chills. We're so aligned. We're so synchronized, right? And this is another thing that'll cure depression, is knowing that you are a part of something bigger than yourself. You're not alone, right? So the practice of celibacy, obedience, semen retention for men. This will take you there. And you're going to start magnetizing, right? You're going to start attracting things naturally. God already knows what you want. You don't have to sit here and beg for it. You just have to be obedient, disciplined, focused, driven by goals, values that are grounded in truth, not driven by fleeting emotions, temporary things. Anything temporary that's guiding you is misleading you. You could think of it like that. You want to be guided by whatever it is that's eternal. And I believe very strongly, in fact, I know in the core of my being that what's eternal about what I do in this life is the character improvements that I make as a soul. Those I take with me, nothing else. But I also get to leave here something. I get to leave a legacy. Maybe I leave children. Or maybe I just inspired some people and they made children. Whatever it is. But if I'm not in my truth, if I'm not in being my authentic self, without fear of judgment, how can I fully contribute? And then how can I lay my head down at night feeling proud of what I've done? I can't. And if that's my lifestyle, guess what? I'm depressed, right? There's also physical aspects to this. I'm talking more about the mental aspect. What happens when you as a man become in control of your emotions. The other thing, you guys, is you're not going to be driven around. You can't be a simp anymore, right? You're gonna notice certain people. They just want something from you, and you're gonna pick up on that because you're on point now. You're not wasting energy. You notice every little thing. You're gonna notice the people that are on your level that just want to share this exchange of beautiful, loving, brotherly love type of energy or sisterly love. But then there's the people that's like, they see something in you and they're almost like thieves. And but they're like energy thieves. And they might follow you around and stare at you and stuff like that. It's okay not to give those people your time. I'm somebody that struggles with that a little bit. Sometimes I feel really bad, I feel bad turning somebody away. I have that people-pleasing thing that lingers. But I'm getting better at it. If I catch on that somebody's just really trying to suck my energy dry, I say, you know what, man or woman, whatever, I've got to go. I got something I got to get to. Bye. Certain people too, there's people in my apartment complex, since I've made this transformation, because they see me when I was in a really bad way. Now they see me now. And it pisses them off. And the thing is, I used to engage with them. Now I don't. That pisses them off even more. So I just get hate glares, but I just ignore it. I stay in my zone. I stay driven. I stay focused, right? I've never been happier in my life, you guys. Never been happier. Never been more free. It's ironic how by being obedient to laws, commandments, and statutes, by obeying those things, I've become more free. It's funny how that works, but that is how it works, you guys. All right? Depression is a demon. It wants to hold you back. It wants to limit your ability to share your gifts with the world. It wants to keep you stuck. Break through it. SR will help. The sun will help. A clean diet will help. Exercise will help. Associating with like minds who are truly with you and on this path will help. Giving freely and expecting nothing in return will help. And it really helps when you don't talk about those things. When you do a good deed, you keep it to yourself. Watch what that does to your depression. At some point, depression's an ancient artifact in your life. All right? Hope this was useful. Peace and blessings. Signing out. Till next time. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share. All right, peace.